Good evening, Bahamas. On the broadcast tonight, the country records its latest traffic fatality. Plus, the National Security Minister says there may be a shortage of officers. And the Christian Council president speaks out on crime.
Our news is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news, the weekend edition, and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Knowles. Topping news. Another traffic fatality recorded here on the streets of the capital, this time in the residential area of Seabreeze Estates. According to police, the incident occurred shortly after 5 this morning when the lone male occupant of a 2008 Nissan Cube lost control of the vehicle. Press Liaison Officer Superintendent Shanta Knowles gives us the details on what occurred.
Officers were called to the scene at Golf Course Boulevard and Seabreeze Lane after we received reports that a vehicle had collided with a concrete wall. Upon our arrival here, we discovered that that information was correct. We are early in the investigations, and EMS was called to the scene, confirmed that one male driver was deceased.
Officers from the fire department were also called in to extricate the victim from out of the vehicle. Now, Superintendent Knowles did not say whether speed played a factor, but she reiterated the need for the motoring public to drive with caution.
As we are early in this investigation, we are appealing to the public to adhere to the traffic rules and regulations and drive with as much caution as possible.
We are getting reports tonight of a plane crash in Exuma. While there's not much detail, we understand that a plane with 2 people on board crashed in Staniel Key after it ran off the runway, and a man on board suffered an injury to his ankle. There were no other injuries reported. The man was at last report set to be airlifted to the capital. Meantime, police are seeking the public's help in locating the men who held up a major food store around 7 this morning. According to reports, employees of the major supermarket on Nassau Street were about to enter the store when they were accosted by 2 masked men armed with firearms who robbed them of an undetermined amount of cash before speeding off in a red Jeep. Now, anyone with information is asked to contact police. 2 men and a woman spent the night behind bars after they were reportedly arrested for possession of an illegal firearm. Mobile Division officers were on routine patrol on Prince Charles Drive after 10 on Saturday night when they stopped the occupants of a Nissan March based on suspicion. A search of the vehicle reportedly uncovered a .12 gauge shotgun, and the suspects were subsequently taken into custody. Well, Minister of National Security Marvin Dame says the Royal Bahamas Police Force is staring down a possible police shortage. The minister says the findings were revealed in a draft audit of the law enforcement agency. Jared Higgs reports.
Minister of National Security Marvin Dame says police are leaving the force at a faster pace and new recruits are joining. Speaking to our news earlier this week, Dame says they're moving aggressively to fill the ranks.
Attrition in the force since 2011 has been outpacing recruitment, meaning that our numbers have been declining, not increasing. That should never happen in a police force, and we will move very quickly to fix that. And so a few squads of police recruits should be going in very shortly. So we can't go in with 20 or 30. We want to recruit in masses, but we want to recruit based on need, not numbers.
Well, those new recruits will eventually become seasoned officers, expecting promotions. Despite its apparently declining numbers, Dames recently referred to the force as top-heavy, following a pre-election promotion exercise. And with revelations of possible abuses of the promotions process within the Royal Bahamas Defence Force, Dames says the government wants to see the top achievers awarded.
We have to certainly rethink the way we promote. And this just didn't happen yesterday. People have been complaining, especially officers in all of these organizations, been complaining about the promotion process for a very long time. And we said as a government that we will institute measures to ensure that the brightest and the best and the most committed are promoted at the end of the day.
With the country's major crime challenges, low police numbers may be of concern to the average citizen. Despite that, Dame says the force is relying on factions, such as the Gangs and Guns unit, to suppress the criminal element. He added that these units aren't just thrown together, they take coordination and preparation.
And when we speak about training, it's not just taking a group of men and putting them in a squad car or in a building and say, you're the Guns and Gangs unit. But providing the requisite training for these individuals, which is second to none. Training in intelligence, training in the identification of gangs, training in suppression of wherever they are, but also training in education. How do we educate our young men in particular?
Reporting for our news, I'm Jared Higgs.
All right, thanks, Jared. And the Christian Council president is weighing in on the crime situation in the Bahamas, telling our news he is tired of hearing that the church seems to be asleep. Giorgio Bain tells us more.
President of the Christian Council, Delton Fernando, says the churches are doing all they can to assist in the fight against crime. And after a meeting with the Minister of National Security, he believes they're well on their way. According to the Christian Council president, the church is not asleep when it comes to the fight against crime, as many may believe. Fernando says the church has regular meetings to come up with new initiatives to assist the country in the fight against crime.
The church has no place to go. We are the open doors in the community. We are feeding people, we're paying rents, we're paying light bill. And until the church speaks out, we will always have that demeaning question that we're doing nothing or seemingly we are asleep.
This week, the Minister of National Security announced that the recent lull in homicides is the result of strengthened police operations. The last recorded murder was on October 26. However, Fernando believes that following a meeting with Dames, that the church's initiatives will also play a major role in curbing the vexing issue.
But we would have met with the Minister of National Security and he would have laid out his plan and his approach, and he will roll that out himself to deal with crime. Some of it is long term. We believe that it's going to have an effect on our society, and we have committed as a council to partner with him to get some of this done. Yes, some of it must be intelligence based. Yes, some of it must be community based. And when he finds the capability to roll that out and to explain to society, from what we have seen and what we've heard, we believe it'll make a difference in our society.
Church leaders are also working on combined efforts to get out in the community to bring the word of God to those who don't attend regular church services, according to Fernando.
When people say the council, they think it's one entity. We are the churches with an S in the Bahamas. There's a program called Ease Up, run by Farm Fest. There's a program called Enough is Enough, run by Project. That's the church. That's the church at work. We're going to partner with the state for crisis counseling, crisis training. I leave that to the minister to roll out. We're going to have Occupy a Corner, Occupy a Community, the old-fashioned church in the community, but we're going to do it in a unique fashion.
Reporting for Our News Weekend Edition, I'm Giorgio Bain.
Condolences continuing to pour in to the family of the late Sir Arlington Butler, who passed away on Thursday night. Sir Arlington, who was the first Speaker of the House of Assembly, died at 79. The nation's Chief Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Minnis, issuing a statement yesterday, counting Sir Arlington among those Bahamian patriots who offered a tremendous measure of devotion to the Bahamas. He said Sir Arlington demonstrated great courage when he left the teaching profession to enter frontline politics and helped to usher in racial and social equality as part of the movement for majority rule. He lauded Sir Arlington's considerable knowledge of parliamentary procedure and described him as a fierce defender of the authority and independence of the Speaker. For his many contributions to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, he was knighted by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in 1996. The Prime Minister said Sir Arlington contributed to national life as a politician, diplomat, attorney, sports enthusiast, and member of the Olympic movement. He served for many years as president of the Bahamas Olympic Committee. Dr. Minnis said the Bahamas cherishes with tremendous gratitude the life and contributions of Sir Arlington Butler and offered condolences to his wife, Hazel, Lady Butler, Sir Arlington's children, as well as extended family and friends. Well, we'll take a break here, but still ahead tonight, the F&M chairman backs the Prime Minister on proposed changes to the Nationality Act. That story and more when our news returns.